decided to take advantage of my culture, and then I decided to import coffee. Colombia is a place really renowned for its coffee, and so I decided to find a supplier, to talk to some farmers in Colombia and try to import a product in Denmark that is from good quality, good sources, fair trade, and something that it can help a little bit my country as well, and also help the customers in Denmark, because I'm gonna give a product that it has a better quality, I will say it like that. So now I'm starting with that. That's my project, and I'm working every day on that, and then hopefully it will work one day so I can go back to wedding photography.
You did not like the coffee in Denmark?
When I came to Denmark, my first few months while I was waiting for my work permit, I went out and had some coffees around, and I found out that in Denmark, is a lot of the quality of the coffee wasn't that great compared to coffee countries like, not Colombia, but I mean coffee countries that consume a lot of coffee. For example, Australia, maybe England as well, and New York. Those places is a really big part of the culture, just to go out and have a coffee and let's meet together, let's catch up with a cup of coffee. So the quality in Denmark, it was a little bit not what I was expecting. So then I started to research why, and then they told me that it was because a lot of coffee comes from Africa, and they come also from Central America, and then they blend it together. So I think, and I could feel that the business was rising up. It was just beginning to be something that people will like to do. Let's go out for a coffee. I don't know what did they do on the past, but I could feel that people was more keen to say, okay, let's go out for a coffee. Let's have a meeting and we'll have a coffee. So I decided to actually take that as an advantage for me, coming from a place that I know the culture, I also know the language, I know the suppliers. So it was kind of a perfect realization. It kind of opened my eyes just to see that the business was just booming in Denmark, and I come from a place that I can give so many different qualities to this business. So it was just a perfect moment in time to be. Yeah. When I started to import coffee, I import different qualities of coffee to see what kind of the Danish market would like to have. And it was really funny to find out that they actually like really strong coffee, kind of bitter sometimes, right? And every time I did the test, every time I gave up samples to try out, they will come back to me saying, I like the strongest coffee. And it was kind of funny, because I was expecting maybe some people will like a coffee that is sweet, maybe a little bit more of cherry flavor or something like that, but they actually like the strong and bitter coffee. And so I adapted to that, and then I told to the supplier that he was giving me that strong coffee, and then I agree with him how can we start the process of importation. But it is definitely that is depend of where you are, they will like strong coffees, and I guess in Italy they like a lot of espresso and ristrettos and a lot of strong coffee as well. The same in Australia, they drink a lot of strong coffee, and yeah, so it's kind of different. It's kind of different, and so yeah, it's really nice just to see how much the taste changed from a person to another person.
So you're importing coffee from Colombia. Is it easy to import goods from Colombia?
It is really easy. In the beginning, I was expecting something really complex, but it's easy just to import it. What it becomes complex is more of the legal procedures, or how can I say that? Dealing with toll, with duty, with customs. Dealing with customs, it can become a little bit complex. Dealing with with the SCAT, with the taxes in Denmark, it can become a little bit complex. But all the information is online. Is really nice people on the phone numbers of the costumes and the phone numbers on the taxes, and they really patient to explain you step by step how can you do that.
Mm.
So even though I couldn't understand 100%, my idea was to do it anyway, just to import a small quantity, see what will happen at the end of the month, if I will have a bill from customs, if I won't have a bill from customs, or if we have a bill from SCAT. And in that way, I could learn a little bit more. I know for some people, they wouldn't do that. They would like to know before, they would like to know, like it's an Spanish how we say it in Colombia. You learn how to swim by jumping into the pool.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
some people would like to learn before jumping into the pool. So that's what I did. I just jumped into the pool without knowing how to swim, and in the process, I could learn. So it has been a really nice experience because also it teach me about a lot of about the culture of Denmark, how the Danish people interact, how the Danish people accept questions and are keen to help you.
Mm.
I find out that opening a business in Denmark and being in Denmark uh, as a business person is absolutely 10 times easier than being in Latin America, than doing it in Colombia. In Colombia is so much bureaucracy.
Mm.
Here, it's just a few steps you have to comply with, and then they open the door for you, which is fantastic. Yeah.
But there are some specific challenges that you're importing something from Colombia, because people tend to associate Colombia with other stuff rather than coffee.
Yes, yes. Unfortunately, we have another part of our history is related to mafia and drugs. So when you import coffee from Colombia, usually they open the bags and they make a big mess every time I import
Oh.
custom. They always checking what is inside the bags.
Mm.
And but I guess it's something I have to accept as a Colombian. Unfortunately, once you create that fame, it's really hard to take it away. We will be, for the eyes of the people, for a long time, we will be those kind of drug country place.
Mm.
Colombia will be. So I knew it will be kind of stigmatic in the beginning. I will have a stigma on it, but then I have to do it anyway. It's nothing to lose. It was nothing to lose. I just had to go and try. And if you don't try something in life, you will never know if it will have worked or not. So even though it's that challenge that people actually double check what I'm importing from Colombia, or they ask me for more insurance, or they ask me more about who I am and why I'm importing from Colombia, and it's fine. It's something I accept, and then I give the information because I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm doing everything right. So
Mm.
once I give the information, it's easy to get the product in Denmark.
So your coffee is high quality. It's not just you that says that. I think a lot of people say that your coffee is of high quality. So that means that you have to charge a little bit more. How do you get the Danes to accept that they have to pay a bit more for the coffee?
It's a long history. I'm gonna tell you. The coffee, I say that is good quality because the coffee business the last 10, 20 years has changed a lot. It has changed a lot because the coffee market that's maybe 40, 50 years ago has been regulated by the stock market. So the prices are put on the stock market, how much an American pound will cost this week, and that's what the buyers will pay the farmers for their coffee. I found out coming from Colombia that that's a little bit unfair because mostly of the times the coffee farmers don't have enough money to pay the production. They don't have enough money to pay their workers. Therefore, they end up changing crops. So before they used to have a coffee farm, now they have an avocado farm that it gives more money. So, and that's sad because Colombia is a coffee country. And then it's something that when I came to Denmark, I was kind of sad because a cup of coffee in Denmark, it can cost quite a lot, 60, 50 kroners. I'm talking $8 American dollars. So it costs a lot. And then if we analyze those numbers, I'm sure it's enough money to give to the farmer, but because it's such a big business and it involves so much money, the only ones who win there are the big importers and the ones who are selling the coffee at the end of the production chain. So I say that it's good quality because I spoke to these Colombian farmers that they were doing really old Colombian seeds 50 years ago because the coffee was put to be regulated by the stock market. People wanted to sacrifice quality for production. So what they did was they changed the seed they were using 50 years ago for a seed that it will give more beans at the end of the harvest. So the coffee trees now are really big. They produce twice as much coffee as the ones before, but in that process they lose in quality. So I find out which farmers had the old seeds, the seeds that they actually keep the flavor kind of intact. So I spoke to them. They were in the process of regulating themselves in the way they were certificate as fair trade and coffee practices. And it's so many certificates now for coffee, organic and blah, blah, blah. So they got the certificates. I spoke to them. I told them what kind of process is the one they like in Denmark. And I agree with them about a price. So what I'm giving to them is not the price that the stock market says. I'm giving to them the price that they need in order to pay their workers, make a profit, and pay the production. So once you give this incentive to the farmers, obviously they're gonna do a better job in order to grow that coffee because they actually making money out of it. So they will take care of the plants in a different way. And as coming from Colombia, I know that if you treat a plant with kind of love, it will taste different. It's like a chef cooking something with love. If you cook it right, it will taste different. So considering all of this, that's what I say my coffee is high quality. And then fortunately, every time someone try it, they can taste the difference. It's not a big it's not a coffee that comes that the farmer is just worried about selling and selling and selling. It's a coffee that the farmer is enjoying to do because he's getting enough money to pay their workers, the school of his kids, and all the whatever they need in order to make that production available. So it's going back to how business used to be before all of these rush for money and rush for profit. So in this case, what I want is obviously I want to make a profit, but I also want to give them a profit to the producer, and I also want to tell to the roaster that is buying my coffee, even though the coffee is more expensive, the reasons why is the coffee more expensive, and how can he be benefit by that expensive coffee. Because once they tell the history that the coffee comes from this place, is an old seed, this is the price of this cup of coffee is actually paying the school of the kids of the producer, of the farmer, is helping the workers to keep the job instead of shifting crops. So it becomes everyone wins, because at the end of the day, as I explained to the roasters, if they don't take care of the producer, they're gonna finish their coffee production and then start to sell avocados or oranges. So no one will have a business.
Yeah.
Actually, the production chain need to have everyone with a profit. Otherwise, it's not sustainable. So once I explained that, they're actually really keen to pay a little bit more for their coffee, which I think is fantastic, because in Denmark, people are really keen to pay a little bit more if they know that money goes for a good reason. It has a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes me happy that I think it's a perfect place to do what I'm doing. And it has been so far really, yeah, really nice.
Yeah. So you're telling your story to the people that you sell to, who are the roasters. They're not the final customers. Do you know if the roasters then pass on that story to the customers?
I think they do now is with these social media things. Pretty much all the roasters has they have this web page, or they have a Instagram account, or they have a Facebook account. And usually when they get in a new product, they kind of make a kind of resume, a synopsis, a small, yeah, a small history about the product. So in Denmark, social media is really big. I think people buy a lot online, or they actually check their companies online on their phones. So people is related, and if they buy in the product, is because maybe 80% of them, they saw that product online. So they actually know the history, and when they go to buy it to the roasters have told me, my customers, that they actually ask about it. So
Oh.
it's really nice to know that they are interested in the history, not just the product, because I'm sure they're gonna enjoy the coffee, but it's more about what the coffee does, what 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 that little cup of coffee can make such a big difference for the producer. That is really nice to know.